Moms for Liberty evaluated the Wit and Wisdom curriculum. This report is one in a series explaining our findings.
In this beautifully illustrated book, first graders learn the mating positions of the seahorse, and that it's the male who births the babies, making it unique among sea creatures. Such are the lessons of Seahorse, the shyest fish in the sea.
Seahorses are fascinating. We love to learn about seahorses, but the selection of the seahorse seems very deliberate in the fact that it's the male seahorse that births the babies, and the male seahorse that assumes the role of mother. Leading up to that, you have graphic seahorse mating.
This is not a one-day read. First graders study this book for 6 days. Page 12 describes the mating ritual, a courtship dance. Page 13 shows the seahorse mating positions.
Every day at sunrise, Seahorse swims slowly off to meet his mate. They twist their tails together and twirl gently around, changing color until they match. Today, Seahorse's mate is full of ripe eggs. The two of them dance until sunset, and then she puts her eggs into his pouch. Only the male seahorse has a pouch. Only the female seahorse can grow eggs.
And then the page shows 4 different mating positions that seahorses can take. And I would suggest that there's some human equivalents to those. And I would submit that that's wholly inappropriate for a child of age 6 to 7 to be reading about when they likely still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and receive cash payments from the Tooth Fairy and have not yet learned about the birds and the bees.
Even the vocabulary lessons focus on mating and courtship. Page 243 of the Wit and Wisdom Teacher's Manual. Here's the list of words. Swim slowly, change color, twist, twirl, dance, sway.
Those are all wonderful words to have kids understand what twist, twirl, dance, and sway means. But it's all, the source of those words is the courtship dance.
So vocabulary lessons reinforce the storyline.
They twist their tails together, they turn the same color, and then they talk about how the female has the egg pouch, and then she puts her eggs into the male's brood pouch. Well, kids, when they think of eggs, they probably think of what they had for breakfast. They're not thinking of eggs, reproductive eggs, female reproductive eggs. Then what's a brood pouch? And then and it says repeatedly, the male carries the babies. The dad gives birth. This seems like a very confusing thing for a child, 6 and 7 years old, and it seems deliberate that this was the choice of animal. There's so many different animals out there. Why did they pick the one where the male carries the babies and gives birth?
On page 212 of the Wit and Wisdom Teacher's Manual, the teacher asked the class, how do seahorses mate?
What I wonder as a teacher and as a mother, I wonder how, because kids are going to ask questions. There's repeated emphasis on mating and courtship dance. Kids are going to want to know, well, what does mating mean? What is a courtship dance? What is courtship? How does the first grade teacher explain that to 6 and 7-year-olds who probably have never heard those words before?
First graders have never heard of daddies giving birth either, but that's next. The male seahorse goes into labor, and the teacher asks the class, how do seahorses give birth? The book's vivid description reads,
It's time for the babies to be born. He works hard all day and through the night, bending, squeezing, and pushing, shooting hundreds of babies out of his pouch. They swirl around him in the water like smoke.
Then the lesson wraps up with a video about seahorses.
It's called Pygmy Seahorses, Masters of Camouflage. It's actually a really fascinating 3-minute and some odd second video, but then in the last 10 seconds is where they deliver their point. And it says, quote, we humans tend to think
of who we are as mostly fixed. But in the ocean, identity can be a fluid and mysterious thing.
So a seemingly innocuous book about seahorses has graphic mating and a soft intro to gender fluidity and males assuming the role of mothers.
And then the video is the kicker at the end. The final day they watch that video, that's a PBS video, And it's shown in class, and it's the very last line says something like, we humans think of ourselves as fixed, but in the ocean, identity is a fluid and mysterious thing. Why are they choosing to focus on identity being fluid and mysterious after they've just learned for a week how the male gives birth and the male gets pregnant and it's the daddy who has the babies?
At this age, my daughter thinks you go to the hospital and you come home with a baby, right? The doctor just takes it out of your belly. So no idea what mating is, no idea what this, labor and, and a lot of this very graphic process to get the baby. That's going to open a whole conversation, because I know my daughter, and she's going to pay attention, and she's going to come home with all kinds of questions as to what is this, how does this work, what does this mean, does this apply to other animals? And then she's going to get to that point where she's going to apply it to people. Maybe not now, but I'm not planning on having this conversation with her at 6.
There's so much information that kids would be baffled by. And so I would love to be a fly on the wall and hear how those first grade teachers answer those questions. Because me personally, I think those are conversations for parents to have with their children. I want to be the one who gives my child that information.
We're all for teaching about the cycle of life, but at the proper age. And can we please leave radical concepts like gender fluidity out of the classroom? God's kingdom is filled with creatures where the female gives birth. Can we study them? And when it comes to sex education, keep that out of the classroom entirely. We believe that's the parents' responsibility and not the schools.
Moms for Liberty says no to this book and the curriculum structured around it. No, because of its repeated emphasis on mating. No, because it introduces the concept of gender fluidity. No, because the male gives birth. No, because sex education belongs in the home, not in the school.